Hello guys, welcome back to another Lumley trading video. In this one we're going to be doing some in-depth stock analysis on Micron, ticker MU. As you can see, markets have just closed and it's down around 1.5%. The reason we're doing analysis on this is we can see right now on the 4 hour we have now touched the third deviation. When we see this, it's usually the top and kind of the final move for a stock, especially on a large cap stock such as Micron. So as we can see, at 94.50 and 96.50 is where our third deviations are on both the 4 hour and the daily. We've already touched the 94.50 level and we have since started to pull back, so we would expect this to be the overall kind of reversal point for MU. However, if it does continue up, 96.50 should be the absolute top. It would be a surprise to kind of see it push through here because you don't see stocks tend to break through that third deviation. So 96.50 is kind of the highest we would go, but right now, as it is starting to sell off already, we could expect it to already be at its reversal point and continue down from here onwards. If though for any reason it does continue higher, breaks above 96.50 and holds, then the levels we're looking at is kind of 101 and 103. Now those are the fourth deviation on the 4 hour chart and daily. Here this is kind of like the absolute extreme. That would be very overbought for at least the time being, so that's where we would expect it to reverse if it did somehow continue through. Also, what's good with these levels is you do have the psychological resistance of $100, so you got 3 heavy resistances coming into that level. So even if it did break through 96.50, which would be unlikely, that would most likely mean it wouldn't break past that 103 level. Now, where would we have targets? Depending on obviously if you're kind of day trading, scalp trading, swing trading, you're going to have different levels, but we would expect bounces coming into $89 and $88. These kind of bounces doesn't mean it's going to continue high, but we do expect it to sell off kind of to this 89 level. Then we wouldn't be surprised to see at least a small bounce to at least 91.50. But overall we would expect it to continue down and push more towards statistical mean. Again, we would expect its next key bounce to kind of be around $81, $82 because that is the first deviation on the 4 hour and the daily. And as we can see, quite clear, a lot clearer on the 4 hour, there is heavy support on this kind of $80 level. As we can see, it kept coming down to this level and bouncing. So we would expect that to kind of be a strong bounce, and we would probably expect a bounce here to around $88, but again we would expect it to continue lower, more towards statistical mean. And then our overall final target would be $75 kind of slash $76, because once the stock comes into statistical mean we use it as our final target, because from there it could go higher, could go lower, but it's a lot more of a gamble. However, just like all stocks, we expect it to return to its statistical mean at some point, so we always trade in the direction, or try to trade in the direction towards its statistical mean. So that's why MU is something we would be a bit more short bias on looking at it right now. If though for any reason you are looking to go through statistical mean, then we would kind of have its next key target around 68.50, because that is the first deviation on the 4 hour and the daily. One thing as well which does help, as we are looking at Micron now on a short bias way, as it has had such strong momentum recently, obviously that does add risk taking it short, but as we can see it is very oversold now, being at the third deviation, and deviations on both the daily and the 4 hour are heading downwards, which does give us that bit more confidence when shorting, because it means overall for the last 180 days and the last year the stock has overall been trending lower, or the majority of its prices has been lower than higher. So I hope you enjoyed the breakdown on Micron. I hope that gives you some insight into the stock. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, and hope to see you in the next one. And that's it, peace. I wanna go, I wanna fly, I wanna take myself